Yes.
Good afternoon. It is 4:30, so we will call this meeting to order. The Moorhead Public Service Commission welcomes and engages customer input on issues listed on the agenda or of general water electric utility interest, time and commission permitting. Speakers are limited to 3-minute presentations. Customers wishing to address the commission regarding a specific agenda item will be afforded an opportunity during the discussion of that item. Customers wishing to speak on matters not listed on the agenda will be given the opportunity to do so under the heading Customers to be Heard Recognitions. Each person requesting the opportunity to speak is asked to fill out a request to speak form located on the back table of the room and present it to the administrative assistant in attendance at the meeting. Any follow-up or feedback will be done by email or on anything that cannot be resolved during this meeting. For the commissioners, please make sure that your mic is turned on and any red light displays when you are speaking at the meeting. Thank you very much. We will move on to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Dawson moves approval.
Ness approval. Second? Second Ness. All those in favor? Baker.
Aye.
Borgen.
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Ness. Lyseth, yes. All right. And we'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Lindas will second.
Roll call. Baker.
Aye.
Borgen.
Yes.
Lammers.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Ness. Lyseth, aye. All right, thank you. We will move on to section number 6, which is customers be heard. Seeing none, recognitions. Travis.
Yes, I have one recognition tonight. Brian Allen, he's our power system operator, basically works in our dispatch area for dealing with outages and after-hours calls. He's been with us for about 5 years. A couple of those years were as a water plant operator, and then he moved over to the power system operator position. So congratulations on 5 years.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, Brian.
He's actually working tonight.
All right. Well, you said after hours, so
Yeah,
it's getting real close to that. It's great to have 5 years in. We will move on. Number 7, I don't see any old business listed. So we'll move on to number 8, reports from the City Council. Commissioner Borgen.
I really don't have anything to report. We've had 2 meetings since our last meeting, and there really hasn't been anything of import, I think, that I need to report on. We were just starting our budget process today. We had our first workshop, so it's kind of nice to start this process and have several months to get through it. But that's my report.
Thank you. Public Service Commission. Travis? Or, nope.
I don't have anything
Oh,
unless
sorry.
any of the other commissioners
I'm
do.
skipping. Any commissioners? Was anybody at a meeting or anything to report on? All right.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Actually, Commissioner Lammers and I met with Travis on the HR subcommittee, and we did some discussion on succession planning, and we made some recommendations to Travis in regard to perhaps giving us an update either before or during the, what are we doing?
Strategic
planning, that's it. But other than that, I think we got through some good review of the policies, made some changes, and I think we're good to go. I don't know, Amy, do you have anything else to add?
I shared some contacts with Travis as well on some different assessments, testing strategic-wise, so we'll see where we go from there.
Yep.
Yeah, and I do need to bring Mr. Lindas up to speed. He wasn't able to be at that meeting, so I'll get him up to speed here in the near future, and we'll hopefully go from there.
Thank you very much. Now on to the general manager's report.
Sure. Only 3 items under here. First one is the distribution of the 2025 Consumer Confidence Report, also known as the Drinking Water Report. And I'm going to have Mark Pritchard come up and speak to that. So he did put our updated visual that we're going to be providing this year as well too, not what's in the report. So go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Travis. Mark Pritchard, Water Plant Manager. As Travis had mentioned, each year we do what's called the Consumer Confidence Report production. It goes over the previous 12 calendar months that shows basically from a sampling perspective, how well did we do? What regulations did we meet or exceed or not exceed or things of that nature? Historically, ever since about COVID, we've been able to electronically distribute these consumer confidence reports. So we've been using the website really heavily compared to years past. Each year when we do electronically generate these reports, we save about $6,000 to $8,000 in printing costs. So there is a little bit of savings, and it does allow us to more easily distribute it to the city and to the customers. This year, we are working on a little bit of a facelift on this report. We did drop off a paper copy that everyone should have in front of them. This is actually going to be a two-part update. We'll have one that is a website-specific ADA compliant update. That's a version of what you have in front of you now. And then we'll also have one that is designed for a trifold, so it's kind of divided up in columns based off of that type of an orientation. But most of the questions that Moorhead Public Service Water Division receives on this Consumer Confidence Report is simply, what is it? It's one of those things where it's a very dry read. I'm going to be the first one to say it. It's a dry read as it sits on the website now. So we thought, let's make it a little bit more visually appealing, a little bit more simplified, and really bolster where does our water come from, how do we treat it, and how well did we do. So that's the main themes that you'll notice going through the front and back pages. And we also really heavily implemented the work that we've been doing for source water assessments and wellhead protection as a little snippet on the side. So hopefully that is something that Moorhead Public Service is more readily able to use from an advertising perspective. You know, what do we do? And hopefully this will engage the customers with some good questions. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So I like this. I like the new format in the sense that it's still kind of dry, but it's nice.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, but one of the questions I had is, you read about PFAS, and I think customers will have PFAS bad in their brain, but most people don't have a clue what PFASs are. And you can say, well, it's all these polys here, but there might be an opportunity to, not necessarily on this, I'm not telling you to, hey, mess with this, but maybe on the website, try to find a way to engage with the public to let them better know that we are aware of doing something impacted, et cetera, because you clearly are measuring different ones, and people need to know that we're on top of it, so to speak.
Yes, we could certainly put some more information onto the website. One of the nice success stories of Moorhead Public Service is the fact that we really don't have any PFAS to worry about, which is great. We did test for some. We came back with, 0.3 parts per trillion. That is very, very difficult to read, much less figure out accurately how much is there. So we can certainly put some of that on the website in addition to these documents.
Great.
Questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
All right, the last two items on there, again, we had a couple more thank yous from MPS or Moorhead Legacy Foundation scholarship recipients, Christopher Carvel and Yuri Orth also provided. Those are attached within the general manager's report. And then I think what is the last legislative update for the year, we'll see. Some information from MRES on that as well too. So take a look at those. Again, I think it rounds out the year in the legislative priorities and where we're at and what we'll move on to for next year, or what we can start planning for next year. So with that, that concludes my report.
Next up is item 8D, accepting the 2025 annual management report.
Yeah, so with that, I'll wait for the screen to change here, but again, as we do every year, we provide an annual management report to the commission. That is included in your packet. It is I'll call a heavy read, probably a very dry read as well too, but we just wanted to do a couple highlights on this, and this is something we've been talking about internally on maybe doing a refresh on this to simplify it, make it a little smaller, and just kind of hit the high notes as well too. So with that, I'll do a quick PowerPoint presentation. Hopefully won't take too long, and we'll go from there. So again, this is for the 2025 Annual Management Report. We wanted to start off with just hitting some of the 2025 strategic planning highlights. Some of them are operational, some of them were defined in the strategic plan too, but from a community perspective, we did visit 25 key customers, and we also participated in and or sponsored 10 community events as well too. Our team, we evaluated personnel needs as we do on a regular basis, and again, annually as well, and filled some of those key positions as needed as well. Offering continuing education assistance, and training programs for the employees. On the water side of things, we did complete the South Buffalo Well Line technical memo. Again, that was looking at roughly the 1940s line that feeds the South Buffalo Well Line and what we're going to do with that, and got some cost perspective on that and budgetary items for it as well too. Again, the next one is a long-standing strategic plan to replace 1.25 miles of cast iron, and we did that again as well in 2025. On the electric side, we did complete an LED streetlight conversion project in the north half of Moorhead. Now that is looking at from basically Main Avenue all the way up to 28th Avenue North. It does not include Oakport. We're still working on that area as well. And then we did complete a capacity improvement plan, and again, a lot of those projects are already in play. There's a few more that will probably happen in the future years as well too, but that gets us probably through phase one of making sure we have enough capacity for economic growth. From the finance perspective, we did have a successful and completed the 2024 audit. Again, that happens roughly the first half of 2025. And then we did continue our compliance with the Commission's policy on financial strength. Again, that's where we talk about days of cash on hand. And from a technology perspective, we did complete the system acceptance test, and we initiated the system-wide AMI deployment, which is continuing on, and I think Jake's giving a report on that at the next meeting. And then we completed other technology upgrades successfully as well too. So again, just a quick high-level overview for that. Again, we go into our electric sales. Again, our electric sales continue to, I'd say, be fairly stable and growing as well too. We did have a rate increase, which is part of that impact. And we also can see the transfer in the utility operations cost as well in the graph. Again, 2025, we did a 2% rate increase, and again, we forecasted 2% for 2026. You guys have seen this multiple times throughout the year, so we'll continue to show that and tell our story. On the water side, again, we did 5.5%. Again, a lot of that was because of the loss of Anheuser-Busch, and we're continuing forward with that through 2029, looking at 5.5%. So again, those can all change based on sales and other things, but that's what our forecast is for now. On the electric side, operating cash days on hand, again, you can see over the last roughly 15 years how that's moved up. You can see in 2012 is where that financial strength policy came into play, and it was bumped up in 17, and then you can see where we're at today. Again, you're seeing it kind of trend down a little bit, and that's just due to the AMI project and paying cash for that instead of bonding for that project, along with other projects that we've got going on. On the water side, similar setup there. As you can see, it is trending downward. Again, that is the AMI project as well too. From an HR standpoint, full-time new hires versus retirements, resignations, and terminations, those are included in there. Then you can see the employee count that we've had over the last roughly 15 years as well too. So just good information, very stable with the employee count there, and got some ups and downs with new employees and retirements, resignations. Again, from a bill payment perspective on this, you can kind of see how how we receive all of our funds for customer billing. Again, those are kind of split between mpsbill.com and checks and cash and ACH payments as well too. And we do also have some of that online bill pay where a customer does use their own bank app to do the bill pay. From the electric division, again, total revenue in 2025 was about $46 million. You can see a lot of that revenue comes from either residential or general service, and then we've got a plethora of other small income sources as well too. Again, from an expense standpoint, we are at about $44 million in expenses. Again, a large portion of that is city transfer and purchase power, and then roughly the other third is what we deal with on an annual basis for expenses. Kilowatt hour sales, you can see that those are kind of trending down a little bit. Some of that's energy efficiency, some of that is probably a loss of Anheuser-Busch and maybe some other customers as well too. And you can see our residential and general service are kind of meeting or matching up. They're at about the same amount of kilowatt hours sold. Again, we've had a long project of doing LED conversions, moving streetlights from regular streetlights to LEDs. As you can see, we are getting pretty close to the end there. We got about 600 or so left to do. So, and those will happen through attrition over time as light bulbs go out or other projects happen. I know we have, I think, a project this year that we're doing with the city through some grant funds that we're going to be replacing some of those lights as well. So. Again, reliability indices here. Again, commission sets the reliability indices. These have been set for a long time, as long as I've been here and probably longer. Our SAIDI and CAIDI, those need to be under 60 minutes. And roughly for the last several years, we've been under that. 2021, we did have a large transmission outage that impacted that one and a lot of people in town as well too. So. You can see that with the SAFE, and then the ASAI, that's kind of the key one. That's where we say 99.99% to 99.999% lights on. So that's our goal, and we're kind of near the upper echelon of that one as well too. So again, doing really well from a reliability perspective. Demands and peaks, and you see these flip-flop between winter peaks and summer peaks throughout the years. Again, this is pretty common. You can see that's been dropping down over the last few years. So again, some of that's demand management or load side management, along with just some loss of Anheuser-Busch was about 4 megawatts. So that might be part of it as well too. And then you can see what our energy supply is, WAPA, MRES split, and then we do have our wind turbines and wind and solar included in there in that green. It just says wind though. Very small piece of that's wind. So most everything comes from WAPA and MRES. Again, this is what 2025 looked like for where our power came from. Our energy resources were 57% was hydro, 3% was wind, less than 1% is solar. Nuclear is about 4%. Coal was about 20%. That one was up a little bit from the previous year, but a lot of that is due to the Laramie River Station being operated more. So. Natural gas was about 3%, and then market purchases about 13%, and everything else was under 1% there as well. Again, as always, the commission in October, you guys approved the renewable energy certificates to make Moorhead 100% net zero carbon, and this just shows that portfolio as well too. So what comes from renewable, what comes from carbon-free energy, and then total as well too there. So we use those RECs to offset the coal and natural gas piece of it as well too. So from the water perspective, again, we were about just under 14 million in revenues for 2025. Again, most of that comes from residential. The next two bigger ones is apartments and commercial, and then just a scattering of other incomes as well too. From the expense side of thing, largest piece of that is the water treatment, and we talk about that a lot because of the chemical costs as well too. Administrative and general and distribution kind of round out, along with depreciation, round out the three other big items that we have on an annual basis as well too. Again, water revenue sales, again, you've seen we've had a lot of larger increases on the water side compared to the electric side. So those a lot of those sales are based on rate increases, but and not as much usage as well too. So I think actually usage is going down a little bit, correct? Yeah, so. Along with that, we got operating less depreciation and transfers is included in there as well. That did tick down a little bit in 2025, so I don't remember what the reasoning was for that, Mark. Do you remember? Maybe a little less operating costs?
They did drop. I think we had a couple of staff stayed open.
Okay. Okay. Maybe salaries and things like that, so. Again, water sales by customer classes are split into the 5 classes that we've got: regional, industrial, apartment, commercial, and residential. And majority of it's residential, and then apartment and industrial are the other 2 big ones. So commercial does make up a piece of that as well. Regional, remember that Dilworth is our regional customer, so that's all our sales to Dilworth. Again, operating revenues versus expenses, as you can see there. So just revenue, operating expenses were down just a little bit compared to revenues. So again, this is our previous 5-year look at our cast iron water main replacement. As you can see that continues to trend down. We're just, I would say, just over 20 miles of cast iron still in the ground. And you can see year by year how much we replace in miles, and just about 1.5 miles in 2025. So again, our water main break historically since the 1960s is included in here, along with a per 5 average. I don't know what MOV stands for. So again, that trended up a little bit in 2025, but probably some of that is due to super cold and not a lot of snow, or just drier conditions as well too. And then last but not least, communications, community, and employee engagement. Again, this is all the list of items that where we had community engagement, and then all of the employee internal items we had as well too. So a lot of things we do within the city, or for the city, or for the customers as well too, on an annual basis. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions, because I don't know if you want to read that entire report.
With no questions, this needs to be accepted, so we will need a motion.
Lindas moves approval.
Lindas approval. Ness second. Thank you. Roll call. Baker.
Aye.
Borgen.
Yes.
Lammers.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Ness. Yes. Lyseth. Yes. Motion approved. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 9, awarding the bid for the 15 kV metal clad.
All right, I'll have Taylor come up to this. He's been working on it. It sounds like we got some favorable bids, and I'll let Taylor speak to this.
Good evening, Commissioners. Taylor Holt, Project Engineer. I'm asking to award bids for the 15 kV indoor metal clad switchgear. The role of the metal clad switchgear is to sit inside the control building at one future substation and one existing substation, and its duty is to essentially protect the distribution feeders coming out. Oftentimes the controls will be monitoring things for faults, like squirrels getting in the overhead feeders, and potentially contractor dig-ins on underground feeders. So it provides both safety and insurance from additional damage due to electric faults. Bids came in considerably under what the engineering estimate was. The low bidder was Harold K. Scholl's company out of Nebraska. They provided bids to provide switchgear, but then also in the form of 3 separate circuit breakers that would be included. The low bid manufacturer of those breakers is consistent with a substation that we already have out there. So those new breakers coming in would potentially be capable of being installed if we ran into some failures at an existing substation. There's also a little bit of insurance involved there that's somewhat intangible. Not much more to say. The expected lead times are in our favor to keep the projects on schedule, so there's no issues there. And according to the letter of recommendation from our consultant engineers at DGR, they have no reason to suspect that the contractor wouldn't be able to provide us with quality workmanship, installation, and product. With that being said, are there any questions from the commissioners this afternoon?
Questions? Is there a motion to approve?
Lindas will second.
Baker.
Aye.
Morgan.
Yes.
Lammers.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Ness.
Yes.
Lyseth, yes. Thank you very much, Taylor. Moving on to number 10, bid for the lead service line replacement project.
Yep, I'll start this as Jake comes up here. So over the last several months, you guys have been approving agreements and things like that with the state and getting things moving forward for the door flown applications. It's that time of year where we have to finish up last year's projects, and we're getting pretty close on that. And then right away, we'll start this year's projects or what's half-year projects, whatever you want to call it. So with that, I'll let Jake talk to the award of the bid. Go ahead, Jake.
Thank you, Travis. Jake Long, Water Distribution Manager. As Travis mentioned, this item tonight is recommendation to award the bid for the 2026 lead service line replacement project to Precision Dirt Works in the amount of $636,199.25, and authorize the general manager to execute the water service line replacement agreement with the property owners. This project consists of replacing 30 lead service lines. These lead service lines were identified in a project area North Moorhead through water main replacements in the last couple of years, along with a project that was replaced about 20 years ago. Lines that were identified through the AMI project, as well as just a project that 2 years ago where we replaced the public side. This will now be the third lead service line replacement project, and upon completion of these 30 lines, we'll now have replaced over 70 lines since we started the replacement projects, lead service line replacement projects. Over the past several years, MPS has prepared applications through the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority, Drinking Water Revolving Fund, and as the funding has become available through the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and State of Minnesota matching funds. An agreement with the Public Facilities Authority will result in a reimbursable grant for 100% of the project costs. These costs include the construction, administrative, engineering expenses, and the contracts, agreements, and the award for this project are contingent upon the Public Facilities' final approval. Bids were opened on June 4th, and MPS received 2 qualified bids. MPS and Apex Engineering Group staff reviewed the bids and recommend the bid be awarded to the lowest qualified bidder, which is Precision Dirt Works. Attached to the agenda item is the recommendation letter as well as the bid tabulation. And Precision Dirt Works has successfully completed similar work and demonstrated its ability to complete this project as specified. With that, I'll take any questions.
No question, just a comment that this is a wonderful opportunity for residents to get their lead lines replaced.
Yep.
So people don't have questions, I'll say move to approve.
I have one question, Jake. Most of the work being done in the city for 2026, is there a specific location in the city? So
Yeah, it's more North Moorhead. It's kind of various locations from 2nd Avenue. It goes up to about 10th Street on about 7th and 8th, or 9th. Yeah, it is 10th Street in between about 6th and 8th Avenue, I want to say. But we put together several phases that we submitted projects through the PFA. We try to stay around that 30. That seems like it's a good spot for contractors to be able to complete that work. Just submitted the projects to be put on the intended use plan for 2027, and we're looking at maybe 2 projects, one about 20 and one for 30. But we really want to try to keep projects similar location so a contractor can, keep mobilization costs down and just hopefully get in there, get the work done, and move out. So, yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sure I've asked this question and I keep forgetting the answer, but at the current pace of about 30 a year, how many more years till we get to the end where?
Yeah, well, our number keeps changing through our AMI project. We did find, more, which we expected, but, hopefully within the next 10 years, if we're at 30, that would be 300. Hopefully I'm hoping we're right around that 300. But it's just tough to say because we still do have those unknowns out there that we're keep on finding, so.
Yeah, I would say too, is if there are customers out there that have questions, just give us a call. We can help you out very quickly. And I know we've sent out, we have to send out annually updates to all the consumers that have lead service lines that have been identified, or if they are unknown, we have to send it out as well too. So there is a lot of information that does go to the customers. But yeah, if they do have a question, just reach out to us. We'll be able to help them out with that as well too.
And would homeowners know based on when the house was built? Is there a certain, like, up to 1950 that you would most likely not, you might have a lead service line?
Yeah, we know the areas that, where the lead lines are found. It all depends. There was, just going off old records, there's been a lot of lines replaced in the 80s and the 90s and, since then, but there's a lot of lines that haven't. But essentially, it's our 30s and 40s is what we see. 1950s, looks like MPS changed the rules to copper kind of back then, even though lead lines were still allowed. So it's really those 1920s, 30s, 40s that we've really seen it in. And yeah, those are the main areas. And we've gotten a lot of data just with the AMI project as well as our inventory project. So we know where they're at. It's just getting confirmation of each house within those locations. So.
More questions? There's a motion by Lindas on the floor. Is there a second? Second. Ness, thank you very much. Roll call. Baker.
Aye.
Borgen.
Yes.
Lammers.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Ness.
Yes.
Lyseth. Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to item number 11, which is approve the resolution and requests for the mayor and city council to approve the potential bond sale in 2027 or 2028.
Okay, that's actually that's
Not supposed to be on the agenda?
yeah,
It's on mine.
Yep, so it's actually a approved resolution and declaration of intent to approve potential
Okay.
bond sale. There was a change last minute, so we must have
Okay.
just missed it. But reason for that, a couple years ago, we did that process, but we were closer to bonding at that time. With the change and how long it takes to construct a substation and do some of these projects, tonight we're just going to do the declaration of intent. And what that means, and I've got Mark standing here, so if I'm wrong, he can correct me, is that allows us to use our reserves in advance to pay for some of these costs. But then once the bonding occurs, which we're anticipating 2027, 2020, or late 27, early 28, then we can reimburse our reserves for that. So it allows us to take care of everything, because basically when you bond, you have a 3-year window that you have to expend those funds, and these projects are taking longer than that to do it. So with that, I'm going to let Mark speak to the rest of it. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, this will be easy. Let me take a look at my notes. Every bullet point that I had here, he just mentioned.
You just said it.
So he pretty much explained it. Yeah, this is a proactive process that we're undertaking due to what has become increasingly complex in terms of our capital projects and how it interacts with our long-term 10-year planning. So the budget was approved last year that had a number of items on it, totaling almost $130 million in capital projects overall. We identified 7 electric projects and 2 water projects that would be potentially bonded. And so we've listed those out, and a couple of them are the items that Taylor talked about today, where we're awarded a couple bids for some items that we will pay for in early '27, and if we bond in late '27, early '28, we expected to reimburse ourselves, and we'll pay for them initially using free reserves and then reimburse ourselves from the bond proceeds when the bonds are finally issued. So again, this is a very forward in advance item that we're bringing to you. Nothing is set in stone in terms of any of these numbers that are on here. As we go through our budget process this year for our 10-year planning and what's on the calendar for will 28, things may change, shift. We may recognize that some prices need to change, but at a minimum, this will sufficiently cover us, and we will be nowhere near spending this in advance, but we just want to make sure everything is covered and be proactive and have the opportunity to reimburse reserves when bonding finally does occur.
And this resolution and declaration of intent was prepared by Attorney Shockley. He's our bond counsel with that, and just having some conversations with him. It sounds like, kind of doing what we're doing, where we're merging a bunch of projects or maybe a couple projects, but multiple items together, helps from a, bond issuance cost perspective as well too. So those are getting higher and higher as well too. So we're looking at that and taking projects that are in 2030 and making them part of this as well too. So.
Correct with that. As Travis indicated, rather than bonding every single year, historically, traditionally, we've bonded every 2 or 3 years, usually three or four. And with the size of these projects, rather than bond every year, it is cost effective with our current cash status, our reserve status, that we can prepay for some of this stuff and bond later and save, annual issuance costs, interest costs, getting money up front. We can actually get it closer in time to when we actually need it. And again, reimburse ourselves, and our reserves should be right back where we are today.
Commissioner Lindas.
So I think you just answered my query, and that is pulling down the reserves to pay for this in advance doesn't necessarily affect our bond rating. Then we have enough reserves that we're still fine.
That is correct. Our reserve requirements, the commission's, financial stability policies, if we meet those, we meet the requirements to maintain our current or exceed actually our current bond rating. There are other factors that come into play, but this one is a pretty key factor, and our cash reserves and cash standing is very good and very positively viewed by the bond market.
Yeah, the declaration of intent in the resolution tonight also helps solidify that as well too. So they understand why you spent down some of your reserves, noting that, you're going to use the bond proceeds to reimburse yourself.
Otherwise, I think this is a good idea financially.
Yep, we'll need a motion to approve the resolution and declaration of intent to approve the potential bond sale in 2027 or 2028.
I'll make that motion.
Morgan, thank you.
Lindas will second.
Linda, second. Roll call. Baker.
Aye.
Morgan.
Yes.
Lammers.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Ness. Yes. Lyseth, yes. Motion carried. All right. There is no need for an executive session today. We'll just highlight upcoming meetings for public service. July 7th, if needed, and July 21st of 2026. A couple of opportunities for the commissioners. The AWWA conference, which is June 21st through 24th, I will be attending along with, I'm sure, a few of the water guys. I'll make sure that they stay out of trouble. The APPA is June 26th to the 1st. I think, Travis, are you going to that one?
Yep, I'll be attending that one as well.
And then the MMUA Summer Conference is August 17th to 19th in St. Cloud, and I think if that works in the commissioner's schedule, they can still sign up?
I think they have till the end of the month.
Okay.
So
just if that does work out for anybody, to put it on the calendar.
Yeah, I do. Commissioner Lindas is going to be attending that as well, and I'm just looking at my calendar to see if I can go as well.
Okay, excellent.
It's in St. Cloud, so.
Yeah, it's close. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Motion Ness. Second Borgen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul, for joining virtually. Good to see everybody. Have a great week or month.